Hello, Project Runway. My name is Cynthia Doe. I'm 47 years old. I am a mother of 3. I'm from Eugene, Oregon, and I sew for a living. I've been sewing since I was 7. My grandmother made all of her own clothing, and she started teaching me how to sew. I made Barbie clothes, and then at 11 I made my first skirt with a pattern, with her help, of course. And at 13, I wanted to join my dad. He was a black powder reenactment person. He traveled around with a group of guys and they reenacted Wild West shootouts. And I really wanted to be a part of it, but to be a part of it I actually had to have a prairie authentic dress from the 1800s. So my grandmother and I made a complete prairie dress with the high collar and big poofy sleeves with the pleats in it, and it had a long full skirt that was 14 feet around the bottom. I was really proud of that dress. We worked really hard on it, and I ended up wearing it for 3 summers in a row, traveling around with my dad in Oregon from different festivals while he did black powder shootouts. Also, growing up, music was a very big part of my life. I grew up in the late 70s and early 80s and was really into David Bowie and Blondie and the Sex Pistols, and got caught up in the romantic tragedy of Sid and Nancy, and I absolutely adored punk rock. I had a cousin in LA who's in the street style pictures before they were popular, and would keep me updated. And then MTV started, so when I was 15 I was copying outfits I saw on MTV. It really brought a big city to rural Oregon, and we had really wild clothing for my little small high school. So I think about 16 years old I decided that I wanted to design clothes for a living. So I finished up high school, I started community college, and then I transferred to Oregon State University and enrolled in their fashion design program. I went to school for a year and a half. Right after I transferred, I got pregnant with my first child, and I actually did my first year and a half of school with a small child. So I took my classes, worked in the costume department, and then raised a kid. And then, of course, I got pregnant a second time, and I made the biggest mistake of my life. And 2 months before I graduated, I dropped out of design school. I regret it, of course, but I focused on my family. I spent 20 years raising my kids, and they turned out to be awesome, so I have no regrets there. I worked every job, though, that I could find, fast food, retail. I worked at Meyer & Frank's for years. I worked at a mill. I worked office. My last job was actually bartending in a biker bar for 6 years. I ended up getting laid off. The business ended up closing after a few years, but there I was, over 40, discouraged, looking for a job, not getting any job interviews, so I reverted back to sewing, and I set up a booth at our little farmer market every Saturday, and I've been selling clothes for the last 4 years. I do mostly refashions and upcycled clothing. I recycle sweaters and t-shirts. Found a lovely lady back east named Catwise, and she sells this really awesome tutorial for these big, awesome sweaters, and so that's what I've been doing for 4 years. But she really supported me on that dream of just getting back into sewing, and I realized that I really missed designing myself, and so I started designing clothes again, and I've literally been inhaling fashion for the last 4 years. I've been showing here locally and participating in local competitions, and it's been fun, but I feel like it's kind of spinning my wheels for a small town that's really just all about t-shirts and jeans. So a year ago, my friend online was telling me that she was watching this show called Project Runway and having this marathon, and she was so stoked and inspired by it, and I was like, what is Project Runway? And so she told me all about it, and I realized that I had missed this whole phenomenon. a TV show, and so I took advantage of a hysterectomy last year, and I watched like 8 seasons, and then I joined the blogging Project Runway group on Facebook, and I got really excited, and when season 13 came about, I was astounded by Karina, of all people. She is from the same town I am, here in Eugene, and I could see right away she was a fantastic designer, and it was funny because everybody hated her because she was just so mean, and I just was like, she's not mean, she's just really passionate. And so I really, at that point, became convinced that maybe I should try out for Project Runway. I'm fun, I'm quirky, I have a funny sense of humor, and, you know, I just really think it'd be a good venue for me. So after 20 years of not sewing, I think I should do Project Runway. I have the same dream I had when I was 18, although my interests have changed. Of course, I've grown up, and I'm not sure what my direction is right now. I really think that Project Runway would be like awesome for me as a designer. It would give me an opportunity to be in a new environment, meet other people, try new things, challenge myself. The timing is absolutely perfect. My last child is moving out, and the business is kind of suffering. I just started taking on alterations and repairs, so I feel like it's time for some drastic action. So here I am, Project Runway. Give me a chance.